Pepper is which one? That big
The
one with the,
levetiracetam.
is that the, I don't, there was a little one and then there was the big one. So the little one, was that the steroid?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so that one I took till I finished it. And then I didn't take it no more. And then the other one was 60 days, so it was only a month from whenever I got there.
Okay.
And then I
So when was the last time you took that?
Probably like January, the middle of January.
Okay. How have you been doing since that time?
Good. Good. I haven't had any seizures, nothing.
So, have you had any more of those dizzy sensations?
Mm-mm.
No, nothing
Nope.
like that.
Nothing.
So you know the issue is that the meningioma is still in there,
Mm-hmm.
so you're still at risk of having seizures.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to absolutely be back on something.
See, the only thing is that because see, I grew up and I've never ever, I swear to God, ever taken any meds at all. Even whenever I had my accidents or whatever and they tried to put me on anxiety and anything, I didn't take them. I did more of, I Googled, I did more natural stuff. So whenever I tried these, believe me, my husband will tell you, it did not do well on me. I was so angry. I was mean. And I was fighting with everybody. And I thought I was going crazy because I was acting all weird. And then once I finished the pills, then they realized that I was back to normal.
So I know that your entire life you haven't been on medication, but you also have a brain tumor now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's different.
Yeah.
Right. So it's something that you can't just treat with supplements or diet. Okay. It's there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still going to cause the potential for seizure activity.
Okay.
Now, why do we care about seizures? Well, the thing is that if you are doing something, say like you're driving, or you're on a ladder, or you're at home in a shower, you fall down, you can injure yourself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other risk is that if you're not on medicine and you have a seizure, those seizures can keep going, okay, and it can really damage your brain. So the seizures cause the neurons to start dying off, and that's when people begin to notice that they have short-term memory loss. Okay, so I mean, there's some serious risks to not being on medication. Okay, so I would strongly recommend that you absolutely start medication today. Okay. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be Keppra. There's other medicines out there. Okay. If you don't tolerate the Keppra because you feel like it makes you grouchy, we can try something else. But that risk is not going to suddenly go away. The tumor is still there. And, you know.
Because I know that the doctor had said that everybody has tumors, and whether it's going to flare up or not, Dr. McKinney, he's like, but...
I doubt that he said everybody has brain tumors.
Well, he said that you can, mine's like a little small 2 ounce or whatever, but he goes, it could have been there for a long time, and the way that he said it, he goes, I mean, everybody has them. They could have them if everybody got an MRI. You could find some kind of mass or something in there, because he says it's a mass, it's really not a tumor, but everybody calls it a tumor.
So what's the difference between a mass and a tumor? A tumor grows, okay, it may not be fast growing, okay, which is something that we know about the meningioma. But anyways, like I say, is that not everybody's walking around with one of these, and not everybody has a seizure. So so I would recommend that you get a brainwave test.
A brainwave test?
Yes. Okay. So that's where we put electrodes on the head and we record the brainwave activity. Okay. And I'm assuming Dr. McGinnity is going to do repeat scans.
Yeah,
to
see
every 6 months.
Well, I got an appointment already in 6 months because he wants to see if it grows or what happens. Because he saw the first one that they did and the other one, and it stayed the same. It didn't grow, it maybe didn't do anything. So then he said, well, we'll still do the other 6 months and see, if it's any different or what.
Okay. Do you have any allergies to medicines?
Just the penicillin and the amoxicillin.
And what happens with those?
I just get hives.
Hives.
But it was like very many years. I haven't really tried to take anymore, but they tell me not to.
Well, what I would recommend is that we start you on a medication called Trileptal. The other medication's name is oxcarbazepine. Okay. And it's not associated with this irritability. It does take us a little while to get it titrated up. So I'll start it off at a 300 milligram tablet, and I'll write up a schedule for you.
Okay.
But I think it's very important for you to
Okay.
be on medication.
Okay. Is that going to affect my driving and all that or anything?
Well, seizures will affect your driving.
Well, yeah, that I know.
So if you have a seizure, you're not supposed to drive for 3 months. And my recommendation is 6 months after your last seizure, because it's something that, this is a pretty new diagnosis for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't really been on an adequate trial of medication, meaning that we need to make sure it's going to be controlled, because the last thing you want to do is have a seizure while you're driving and crash your car.
Okay. Because I've been driving already, Dr. McGinnity, because I haven't had anything in 3 months or anything, so she told me I could drive.
So. I wouldn't drive if I were you.
Because I'm not one that has the benefit of family to take you here and there and everywhere. I mean, just me and my husband by ourselves, and he works like in the oil fields and 15, 16, 17 hours per day.
Right. Where does he work?
He works for he was in the oil fields like for Halliburton, but now he's driving for the fuel.
Okay.
And so he still just does wherever the fuel area works, where they send him off to.
Okay. So every medicine has 2 names.
Okay.
Okay, so the brand name is called Trileptal.
Okay.
The chemical compound is oxcarbazepine.
Okay.
Okay, so the first week you're not going to take anything in the morning. You'll start off 1 at night, and I'd like for you to start this off tonight.
Okay.
Okay. The second week you'll take 1 in the morning, 1 at night, and the third week you'll just be taking 1 in the morning, 2 at night, and that's it. Week 4, I'd like for you to come back and we'll check some blood work and see where the levels are running. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to have you take this. Which pharmacy do you use?
Well, I use the Walgreens on West Commerce and General McMullen.
Okay.
And so for the no driving, I mean, I'll do for I'm on the February, January, March, 2 more months.
And I think that's reasonable. Okay, I honestly think that you're going to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think you're going to do very well. The thing is that we've got to get you back on some medication.
And so will I eventually get off the meds, or I'm going to stay on meds the entire life?
It depends on if you and Dr. McGinnity make the decision to operate on the meningioma.
Mm-hmm.
Now, operating on the meningioma and removing it doesn't necessarily mean you can be off seizure medicine, okay? Because sometimes what happens is meningiomas, they grow on the lining of the brain, and then they push on it, right? They kind of push as they grow, and as they push on it, it can actually change the structure of the brain and scar it a little bit. Okay. And it's that scarring that we think that results in generation of the seizure activity. So as the tumor grows, it pushes on the brain, changes the structure of the brain, sets up that epileptic network. Okay, so even if that meningioma comes out, not everybody's a candidate to come off medication. What helps us make these decisions after surgery is things like the Brainwave Test.
So if I don't have, because he was saying he didn't feel like I needed surgery because it's not over the 3 centimeters or anything, so I'm still going to stay on the meds, even though I'm not getting nothing. I mean, I'm not.
So this is something that's a little bit of a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
So people have to take a medication to prevent something that may or may not happen, okay? But when you think about
I mean, and I know on the brain, my daughter suffered from a big TMI falling from a 33 feet. And I'm going to be honest with you, doctors want to keep her on meds. And I felt as a mother it was acting her different. I took her off the meds. And then now she's going to college. Now she's back in there. But, that's just, and I'm just, being honest with you because,
here's the thing.
And I know mine's different because mine's a tumor and it's there. Yeah, I understand that.
It's very different.
Yes.
Okay, especially, there's a bit of an age factor.
Yeah.
Okay. But there is this scenario where you have
Yes.
to take medication for a condition that may or may not happen every day, right?
Yeah.
So if you think of it kind of like a chronic condition like diabetes or high blood pressure,
Okay.
you need to take that medication to prevent problems from happening, right?
Yeah, and they did that, and they stopped it because I lost a lot of weight, and so now I'm off of it. I'm off. They try to get me on that, but I ain't take it. But I still took every now and then.
Okay.
He cut me off of that.
And my last comment is I
Yeah.
nobody can make you do anything.
I know.
And just advise you, okay, because we do see it happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is it? We understand people want to test the water. Things can happen to me. Bad things won't happen to me.
Yeah, I
The problem
understand
is that we do see bad things happen, and there's nothing that you did to cause this tumor.
Mhm.
This was just bad luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And the thing is that appropriate treatment. And remember, we try to think of ourselves as being in a first world country where we have options, where we
Yes.
can take good care of people. Because I will tell you, what happens in other countries where people cannot treat and control these conditions,
Mhm.
they get injuries related to their seizures. They drown because they have a seizure in the water. I mean, bad stuff happens to them.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I mean, it's a real issue. It's not going to go away just because you don't want it to be there.
Gotcha. Mhm. Okay.
So what we need to do is we need to find good medication that you can tolerate to be
Okay.
on. It's
Okay.
not going to have a lot of side effects, so
Yeah.
that it becomes like second nature and you forget about it.
Gotcha.
Okay, because McGinnity's right. Let's say that this thing, it grows a millimeter every 10 years, or every 10 years, some tiny amount every 10 years, and you never have to have anything done about it. Okay, the problem is that it's still there. It's still going to irritate the brain.
Because we don't know what irritated it, right? Because we don't know what irritates it, or
No, the meningioma is irritating it. I'm certain that that's where the seizures are coming from.
okay. So that little area that he's saying, that's a meningioma. Is that what it's saying?
So the meninges are the lining of the brain. So they cover the brain, and when they form tumors, they, like I said, they tend to, because the skull is tight, right?
Okay.
Is that they push into the brain, because the brain is a soft
Because it's on
tissue.
the outside, right? Did you see it? Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
It's
I
in
did
the
see
outside?
people.
Mhm.
I did take a look at your
Where is it?
brain.
Right here, right?
It's right up here.
Okay. Mhm. So it's not in the brain, it's on the outside, right?
Right. It's on the lining of the brain. So
Okay.
there's like a. I don't have a good picture of the meninges, but they just kind of like lay over the brain. But the problem is that they push in, because the skull doesn't allow tumor growth outside of it, so it pushes in.
Got you.
So that's how it affects your brain. Now most people on the right side, that area, you're not going to notice it. Okay, you're just not going to notice it until you might develop seizures or headaches, and that's a typical presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a pretty silent area.
Oh.
And, as these things grow slowly, people kind of just get used to things.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so I will probably need a note or whatever about not driving, because work right now is having me to, they're doing work from home because I wasn't
Okay,
able to
absolutely.
drive. So.
What do you need me to say? Where can I extend it? What dates? That's usually what dates.
Well, I know that right now it's until March 31st, so I have another one from March 31st till what's the 6 months? You're saying 6 months, right?
6 months,
So
yeah. So we
6
have
months.
11, that's going to be May.
Mhm.
How about May 31st? Is that good?
Okay, yeah.
Work from home, you're unable to drive until May
Okay.
31st.
And then if they give me a paper, because I think they give, I'll bring it out. I'll see what they want. Do I just fax it to you to get
Yeah,
it?
so you can fax it or drop it off, or you
Okay.
can actually upload it into that My Chart system, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
We have all kinds of ways to get around things.
And if I don't feel good with the meds or anything, then I'll let
Then
you
you
know.
let me know. Okay, don't just stop it, because the thing is that
Mhm.
we have many powerful medications
Yeah.
with lots of different side effects. Kepra's usually one of the first ones we try because it's pretty easy to start and doesn't have a lot of long-term side effects, and people tolerate it.
Okay.
So we're trying a second one.
Okay.
So, I mean, this one I don't associate with a lot of side effects, but of course everybody's an individual, but it's not something that we can say, well, this is optional.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right, give me a second to write
Okay.
you that letter, and I'll be right back.
And then I'll need a work excuse.
Okay, I'll have the notes.
Thank you.